Hi guys, it's Belle here and I'm back to share with you the next 7 pages in my week 3 flip through of my October daily. I am following the prompts created by Release the Crafting and Pink Oddbird. I will leave the links to their channels down below. And this year the prompts come together to create a spooky story, which I'm loving. If you follow the hashtag OctDay2022, you will be able to see what everyone is doing and follow along with everyone's flip throughs, and it's so much fun. And in just a few days I will be back to share with you my second page in this collaboration, where I create for you the prompt for day 22. So let's get started. So we just finished on day 14, which was this one, where I was looking through the front door and I could see tall, scary, hold on, sorry about that guys, maybe a frog got down my throat. Got a bit tickly. Anyway, we were looking through the door and we could see creepy figures through the door. So on to day 15, and the prompt for this page is: fearful, you open the door. No one is there. Looking around, you notice a trail of candy leading to the backyard. So this is my page. So here we've got a little pocket. I've used some Tim Holtz. This is a Release the Crafting printable because I thought that looked like outside of a lamp. I've got some spider's webs that I've embossed with both a black sparkle and a golden red embossing powder. And then I've cut out these sweetie shapes in muted colours and some vintage music paper. And then I've glossed over the top of them. Down here in the Tim Holtz paper pocket, I've just put some rub-ons, put some script and one of the flowers because it's outside. So it's got that vintage feel, and there's the number 15. So we have these two little pockets. This is really cute. This spider is a little acetate spider from a set. So this is a tree from the set that I picked up in 2017 from Tim Holtz, and I've been hoarding them and I decided to use it, and it's great because my glue is see-through. I just glued the whole thing onto here. And this is a little Tim Holtz card. So let me read to you. Very slowly I open the front door. Hello? My voice is shaky and it takes me a minute to realise that there's nobody there. That's strange. I could have sworn I saw at least 3 people standing there. This place is just getting creepier and creepier. Then I notice that there seems to be small pieces of candy lying all over the porch and down the steps. Maybe I just imagined the tall spooky figures. Maybe it was just kids trick-or-treating. But then why leave all the sweets? I pick up a piece. It smells like violets. And there is a little skull stamped on top of the wrapper. I really don't know what's going on, but I put it in my pocket and take one last look around. But as I go to head back into the house, take one last look around, and as I head to go back inside, I hear dun, 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 dun. And we go over to page 16. And this prompt is: hearing the laughter of children coming from the backyard, you run into the back and follow the sounds to a giant mausoleum. So I used some vintage book page and some writing page that I've used throughout the rest of the journal. Then I had this printable of what looks like a big mausoleum to me, and it's actually from Gipsy Rose Paperie, she used to be called. I think she slightly changed her name. I'll leave the link down below. I don't know if she's got it anymore in her shop. I thought it was perfect, and I'm not sure if it's going to pick up, but I've actually used a Tim Holtz mica on there that then gives it this golden glow, and I've also used gold gilding on the black leaves, so it just kind of shimmers a little bit. And I used some ink and some water to get some distress stains and ruffled the corners. Oh, and on this page I used the words to find she was so perfectly alone, because obviously I opened the door and there was no one there. And so on here it says, trembling from head to foot in the shadow of the trees, the hallowed spot. I used some Tim Holtz washi as well. And then on this book page up here, I found one that worked perfectly, and I've underlined, leaving no room for humans, climbed, her eyes hoping, the voices all asleep. So I underlined those, and here's my pocket. There's my prompt. So I hear something from the garden. It almost sounds like children laughing and in a high-pitched lyrical way. But there is definitely a strangeness to that sound. I follow it to behind the house. Hello? I call again, but the sound seems to have stopped and no reply comes. As my eyes begin to adjust to the gloom, I spot a huge building. It's outlined and hidden partially amongst the wild trees in the backyard. Tentatively, I head towards it, still expecting a bunch of kids to suddenly jump out at any minute and say, trick or treat! But nothing happens, and the silence is becoming oppressive. When I reach the building, I realise it's a giant mausoleum, beautifully built, and in the same style as the greenhouse I'd seen when I first arrived. I really shouldn't go in, but dun dun dun, there's my day 16 up there. We're on to day 17. And the prompt for this page, I really love how this page turned out. The prompt for this page, when you walk into the mausoleum, you see stacks and stacks of pumpkins, and notice some are watching you with spooky eyes. So up here you can see I've used just some of, this is a paper pad I had, and again this is a digital that I used some scraps of. Again, they might be Release the Craft in digitals because I have lots of scraps of those because I'm part of her design team, their design team. And then I've used some crackle paste and texture paste to through a stone stencil, and then I used some inks in greens and browns, and you can just see some of the crackling on the stones. There's a little pocket up here, and I've used a Tim Holtz chipboard piece that says From Regions Beyond, and I've got some washi there that says Caution. And then I just stamped out lots of these pumpkins on some ink paper that I had left from something I was doing from another project, and some more pumpkins, and again some plants. And there's one of those well, it's a butterfly, but you know, moth butterfly. I know they're different, but it's moths and butterflies in my story. So and then I've got this, I think this is from Pink Oddbird's shop, possibly. Again, it's left over from something else I was doing. So let's get on with the story. I straighten my spine and confidently push the door open. Hello, I say again, but still there's no reply. I notice that there are candles everywhere, and they've been lit, casting shadows that dance along the stone walls inside the mausoleum. But before I can wonder who lit them, I notice there are stacks and stacks of pumpkins everywhere. Someone must really love pumpkins. But some of them have creepy faces carved into them. Some of the creepiest jack-o'-lantern pumpkins I ever have seen. And I could swear they are actually watching me. Don't be silly, I tell myself. They can't be alive. So, prompt 18. Your eyes fall on a tomb at the back. Leaning over to read the inscription, the top slides open, revealing stairs. How does it look? So, when I was flicking paint, black splattered paint on this page, I got some on this tea stain page, and I loved the look of it so much. And because I wanted the tomb to be the main focus of this page, I just went crazy with black splatters all over, and then some stenciling in the background. There's my number 18, and it says up here, her trustful eyes looking deep in the secret chamber. This is the new Tim Holtz embossing folder, and I have used gold gilding, pewter wax gilding, and a silver one to give this gorgeous look, and it's on textured black card to just really add a bit more. So obviously it slides open because I'm trying to read the inscription. This is some Tim Holtz washi as well. And this one, the pieces of ephemera. And I've done it so that this can tuck inside and you can see my stairs. I tried to create stairs out of some Tim Holtz papers, and this is another digital scrap that I had, again, I think from Release the Crafting. I'm not sure the stairs worked perfectly, but I do kind of like how they look. So anyway, this is one of those in loving memory funeral cards that I thought worked perfectly. There's my prompt. So let's get reading. The pumpkins can't actually be watching me. This place is really starting to get to me. I look further in the room and my eyes fall on an ornately carved tomb. I'm already here, so I might as well take a look. The top is covered in carved skulls. The craftsmanship is amazing. And is there gold leaf in places? Is this an inscription? I look closer, and as I try to clean some of the inscription to read it, I notice the top moves. Now I am curious, and as I slide the top over and peer down, I see marble steps leading into a stone passageway, once again lit by candles. Is there someone else here? If so, why are they trying to scare me? So that just pops inside because I used foam tape to pop these pieces up. So put it on black card and popped it up. But I put the foam tape to this edge so that there was just a little bit left spare, so I could pop that inside. So that's day 18. Let's get on to day 19 and find out what's in the passageway. So day 19, you go down the stairs. What does the secret room look like? What things did your relative keep down there? Well, you can see it's kind of a sciencey room. I used again some Tim Holtz wallpaper paper from one of his paper pads, and it had like a stone effect, and then I just did lots of crackle stamping on it. There's a couple of spiders, there's another kind of like scientific stamp here with workings out. There's my day 19, and then I used the Tim Holtz die set that's got these shelves and all these bottles. I love doing this page. It took a while, but I really love doing it. And then behind here I have the bit that I've written on that I'll show you in a minute, and there's another bit up there that I've written on, and there's just some more little scientific pieces of ephemera. I love how these bottles turned out. So I stamped them out on different papers. Like this is like a rose card, scrapbook card, but the way I did it, it just adds the look of crackled glass. Then I just stamped some on brown card and different coloured, used lots of inks. I had lots of different kinds of just scraps of paper and dyed card that I have in a little stash that I used to make the bottles look interesting. And then I put the vintage photo embossing glaze over the top. And by keeping it close, I learnt this trick from Release the Crafting in the spring craft collaboration. If you keep it close, it kind of moves. And that's how I was able to get these kind of really mottled, grungy looking bottles, which I love. So I put embossing glaze over all the bottles, and then I added some of the labels. So anyway, here's a little piece. And I've put this together with a Tim Holtz clip. I have this that was in another journal that I believe it was the Black Widow journal that was made by Serene Bookworks, and I think I used that one for an October daily, not last year, maybe the year before. So I'll link that down below. But I thought it was perfect. And then we have a little field label here, and that's got the prompt on the back. So let me work out where I start reading from. I think it's over here. So the smart move would be to go back in the house, but the idea that someone may be trying to frighten me is starting to make me angry. Plus, I've always loved a good mystery story. So slowly, let's put this back on here. Little Tim Holtz clear, that goes back there. So I've made it as a text box. So slowly, got this little Tim Holtz piece too. I make my way down the stairs. They are worn from a lot of use, and I realise it's not a passageway at all, but a huge cavernous room. The air down here is dry, and there is a strange smell. I can't quite place it. As I begin to look around, I notice every wall is covered in shelves, and there are hundreds and hundreds of bottles full of strange substances everywhere. I try to read the labels, but most of them are old and damaged, and those that I can read seem to be in Latin. I look up and dried herbs hang all over the roof. That must be what the smell is. The cool air down here would be perfect place to store herbs and things. They must have belonged to my relative that recently passed. Was she a scientist, or maybe into herbalism? Suddenly, movement captures my attention. So these all just tuck together. The field label goes there up a little bit so you can see it, and then that kind of goes there, and they all just tuck together to make it look nice aesthetically. And we are moving on to day 20. I didn't actually put any words on here because there's so many words with the labels and things, so that tucks there, poking out a little bit. Day 20. Surprise! A monster jumps out, but you turn and run. At the corner of your eye, you catch a glimpse of it. What does it look like? So because the monster was in the same room, I wanted these 2 pages to have a similar feel. So I didn't have this paper, but I had one that was very similar to it. I used the same inks and stamps, and I've used the Tim Holtz grit paste on both pages to give it that kind of feel. Again, I've used a spider on this page to sort of mirror the spiders on this page, and then I've used some of the Tim Holtz Halloween collage paper in the background because I wanted this to almost look like a doorway that the person's coming out of. Did some stitching, added a few more bottles and some more of these kind of scientific labels and some of the handwritten paper that I've used throughout. And it says, a terrible scare, the savage monster, a wicked thing. And I used this image. Now, this may not look like a monster, but it fits with my story, which, you'll discover. And in here is just a tea-stained index card with some more of that vintage book spine that, again, I've been using throughout, and another rub-on. I try and tell myself it's just a shadow from the flames dancing along the stone walls of the room. But then something comes rushing towards me, snarling and laughing in that high voice that I'd heard earlier. Not children, then. I really should have remembered that curiosity kills the cat. I run as fast as possible up the stairs, out of the mausoleum and back towards the house. I only take a second to glimpse the thing that's coming towards me. It seems to be a short and almost human form, long tangled hair and wild eyes with arms that seem far too long for its body. A woman, maybe? There was something so wrong with this creature. I couldn't shake the feeling that it was completely unnatural and inherently evil. It would surely have killed me if I hadn't stopped. I didn't have much time to think further before. And we're moving on to day 21. Ba-boom! And this is one of my favourite pages. It's really simple, but I really love it. So, day 21. Safely inside, you think all is well until the door under the stairs pops open and a hand beckons. What does it look like? So I had some of this scrapbook paper that was a wood effect, but to really grunge it up, I added some ink. Then I used some of my, hold on guys, my Stabilo pencil. I'll get that up there. And added some water to make the cracks look more damaged. I also bent it a little bit. So this bit, if I try and get it up, this bit kind of has a ridge to it. Added inks, added more black splatters because I love splatter, some Tim Holtz wallpaper, and then this little skull is one of these acetate pieces that, again, I've had since 2017, and I love it because, again, my glue dries clear, so I could stick the skull down and you can still see the plant through it. One of the Tim Holtz words that says curious, a bit of stamping on some card paper. Here's a hand. This is definitely from a Release the Crafting kit that I had. Again, it was left over from one of the journals I made and it was perfect. And again, I've used my Stabilo pencil to add a bit of shadow and a bit of grunge and splattered. And the door is actually glued flat here, and then I've done foam tape sort of going up, so I've used one piece then two pieces to give it this opening. And then in here is an index card, and I've used some of the Tim Holt fabric tape that kind of roughly matches the wallpaper because I didn't want to distract with something else. I wanted it to kind of blend in. So here we go, and there's my prompts. As I stood against the front door praying I'd escaped and trying to calm down, I hear the creaking of a door starting to open, and suddenly I notice a wooden door under the stairs. Why hadn't I noticed it before? Probably because I was too busy chasing footsteps up the stairs when I first arrived. It was definitely opening. Oh no, that creature has found me. I stood ready to flee when I saw a hand appear through the gap, slowly, and beckoned to me. It was slender and so pale it seemed to glow like moonlight, and there was a soothing quality to it. I nervously stepped closer and realised I felt none of the feelings I had when I'd encountered the creature in the mausoleum. The closer I got, the more I could have sworn the hand was made of marble. As if hypnotised, I carried on moving closer, but other than the hand, I couldn't make out anything else. It took me a minute to realise the hand had stopped beckoning, and instead, it seemed to be pointing behind me, back towards the front door. Please no, please no, please no, I whispered to myself as I start to turn. And that's where we leave it for today, guys. I will be back obviously next week. Firstly, on the 25th, I will be doing my day. Whoa, so excited. And then again, next Saturday, I will be doing up to day 28 as a flip through and the rest of my story. I really hope you're enjoying this, guys. I'm having a lot of fun. Some of the prompts are really difficult to kind of work in with the story because I didn't read them in advance. I just decided what kind of story I was going to write because I've been inspired by a classic that I recently reread. And so it's been really fun trying to get like the pumpkins and things, trying to get those to blend with the story that I am creating. And again, I didn't put any words because I just put curious on this one. So I really love this page. Do you know what? I've really loved the pages I've created this week. I really, really have. And it's been a lot of fun trying to find book pages that work with it. So let me know what you think down below, guys. Which of these pages is your favourite? Are you enjoying my story so far? I'm having some lovely comments on it. So thank you for that. I really do love this page. And I'm also thinking, guys, that what I might do is that I will do obviously all the flip throughs, but what I might do then is do almost the full story if you want. If you are interested, let me know down below, because obviously the story is stop and starting because it'll happen with the flip throughs. So if you want me to do the story in whole, totality, because I am actually going to type it out to add to my journal anyway, and then I can kind of read it as I'm doing a slow flip through of the pages without actually describing what's on them, so that you can actually just hear the story and not kind of have the distractions of me explaining how I've created the pages. So let me know if you'd be interested in that down below. That would obviously be like an early November thing. It wouldn't be on the final flip through. Loving this, guys. Honestly, go and check out everyone else's Oct Day 2022. And there are many wonderful creators who every day one of us is doing a page for you, so you can see us create these pages. Again, mine will be on the 25th, and then on the Saturday you will get the next 7 pages up to day 28. So if you've liked what you've seen, give this video a thumbs up, guys. And I'm loving sharing this with you. I'm really enjoying this year, if you couldn't tell. So thank you so much for watching. And I hope you're all having lots of spooky craft fun. Until next time, guys. Bye for now.